Hey, welcome to another episode of Ask a Photo Pro. Today, photo reviews. That is what you guys are here for. That's what you guys love. That's what you guys like. It's your favorite time of the week. It's when I look at my Discord and review photographs from you, my viewers. Hello, viewers. Welcome. Glad you're here. If you want to submit your photographs, there's a couple things you have to do. First, you have to become a member here on YouTube. Hit the join button. The join button is for YouTube memberships. You'll see on my channel, thank you to our members. Those are all people who have joined. You'll see up here I have 73 members. The reason that you're watching commercial-free content right now is because this show is brought to you by two things. Number one, our members. Number two, Carty Crew merch. You call yourself a photographer. Look how you're dressed. Yes, you. You just wear track pants, t-shirt. If you're gonna wear track pants and a t-shirt, at least look fly like me. Here, take this. Right? How fly do you look now? If you guys want to get the flyest apparel for creatives and photographers, you gotta tune into that merch store. There it is. Look at, I have over 100 items spread between two merch stores, limited edition drops. Every video that you watch on YouTube, as well as on all my channel pages, you'll see the links for my merch store. Make sure that you guys jump in there and look fly like I do when you're shooting. Let's get it on. Yes or yes? Wow, good timing on the yes or yes. Guys, you get ready for some photo reviews? Supporting me by copying something from the merch store is kind of dope. And like, look at the apparel, super soft. Bella canvas blanks. All right, let's get into some photo reviews. I haven't done photo reviews since last week, and we have a lot of them. Starting off with the one they call Stephen C. This is called Stephen C. It says, this is my second submission for review, all shot on the Sony a7 III with a Tamron 2875. First shot, 50 ISO 50 f11, 2-second shutter, 28 millimeter. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. The last one is the same bridge, but 2 hours later. All right. Let's get into Steven's shots. Steven's first photograph and our first review photograph of the day. Really love the slow shutter speed with the water, Steven. This is really great. The movement that you have coming through here with this slow shutter is excellent. I really love the fact that you slowed the shutter down to see the motion of the water. You used a tripod. There's really nice light coming in from here. I think that that's really great. I love the little hints of green that you kept in this photograph and the focus. You shot at a really strong aperture, so our focus is consistent all the way from the back of the photo to the front of the photo. For me, unequivocally, this is an 11. I love it. You get the smoke. You get the smoke, Steven, with your first shot. Let's go. That's Steven C's first photograph. Well done. Well done. Well played. All right. Next one from Steven. This is beautiful. Steven, you can shoot this stuff. You shoot this stuff really well. Really well. I really like the sensibility here. If you look a little bit closer, you can see the leaves. That's a leaf here and here. Couple of leaves here, which is really nice. I really like the detail. I really love the way that this flows downwards and brings you into this hot spot, that sunset in the photo. The way that this is mirrored here and here again brings your eye into this part of the photo, which is super, super sharp and really in focus. Also, the way that you framed with this reflection. And again, that's just all pushing us back into here. This is another 11, Steven. I'm really pleased with your photography today. This is another absolute banger. Great, great shot. Great, great shot. The next thing I want you to try when you're doing these landscape photographs, I want you to work on not necessarily dropping your horizon right on the center. You can see how, let's just do that again. You can see how your horizon drops right in the center of the frame. What I'd like you to try is drop your horizon lower. Try it on the third. Drop your horizon here. Try it on the top third. Drop your horizon up here. Just to see what the different variations look like. You know, I appreciate the discipline of dropping it dead center, but I think some horizon variations would be interesting. Interesting. Well done, Stephen. That's Stephen's second photo. All right, let's get into another one. All right, we got lots of reviews to do today, guys. So, oh my God, my sign is not on. Holy shizer. Who was going to tell me that my sign wasn't on? Holy. When were you guys going to tell me? When were you going to notice? That's what happens when you stream 2 hours early. Okay, let's look at Steven's next photo. Did I open this in browser yet? I haven't. So, this next version, you did exactly what I asked, which was push that horizon higher. Amazing. It's exactly what I asked you to do. Funny, I don't look ahead at these photos. The horizon, you dropped it higher. And look at the mist on this horizon line. Look at this beautiful mist coming in on the water. Look at the mist rolling in here. And this line of light, you use the same vibe with the framing, the same vibe with the reflection, the highlight here on the water. This little accent, which has something for your eye to catch. This is another banger. You haven't hit anything but home runs today, Steven. You haven't hit anything but home runs today, my guy. You're batting 1,000. This is epic. I'm very impressed with your submissions so far. All right, let's catch that bridge. This is a bridge. I liked where you dropped it. I liked where you dropped it a little bit higher than the normal horizon line. You pushed your horizon line a little bit larger. Want you to make sure that you're super straight. It looks like you're pretty straight, to be honest. I like this. I like this a lot. Couple small things. Notice the difference between the gap in the bridge here and the gap of the bridge here. I would want to see just a little bit more of the picture here to match it on this side. You can see the bridge is coming in a little bit claustrophobic towards this edge, and there's much more breathing room of the bridge on the other side. So that's something that I would look at. Other than that, the reflection is really nice. The water is really nice. Because the water is so perfect, I would take away these little bubbles of white to make the water look even more flawless. Yes, there's tons of them over here, but there's none over here. So if you take away just these small ones, it'll make it look just a little bit perfect. One thing that you can do in order to make this side balance this side is just clip this shot a little bit closer over here. That'll make it feel a little bit more balanced. This is, again, another absolute banger. Banger, banger, banger. By the way, as I'm doing these photo reviews, I am looking at chat. So if you want to ask me a question, just type Command Q. Command is the exclamation mark, and it'll say question. And I will look at chat and notice that you have a question. Next thing, if you want to have your questions highlighted, like put on the screen, you can do a super chat. If you do a super chat of any kind of amount, I will pop your name right up there on chat, on stream, on screen, which is super dope. And again, all your super chats, all your donations, all your super stickers go to help me pay for the hours that I'm losing while I'm doing these streams. I'm just kidding. All the money that I make from this content goes back into making videos and making more content. All right, Steven's last shot. Steven's last shot. Let's get it on. And this is just a little bit later after the light has left. We've lost the horizon line here now. The horizon line's getting a little bit crooked. As you can see, if I follow that gap of the water, the horizon line is crooked. So it's throwing my eye a little bit, although the bottom of the bridge is relatively straight-ish. The same thing applies with how I was feeling earlier with this gap here versus that gap here. I just want the camera to shift that way to just center the bridge in the frame. Also, this is a little distracting, the way that the mud on this side and the bridge on this side is coming in. It's a little distracting. If you just hold your hand like over the frame and just do this to like block, you'll see it's a little bit cleaner without it. Again, these are definitely strong though, Steven. I love the reflection. I love the clouds. The fact that you have these hydro lines pushing through this mist in the background. It's a strong photo. Just watch your centering. Watch your centering and watch your horizon line to make sure that that's super, super straight. All right. So if I had to pick your best photo, dun, 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 I have to pick your best photo now. Your best photo, Steven. Well, it's this one. This is your best photo. Let's go. Well played. Thank you so much for submitting. The slow shutter speed here just absolutely murked it. Murked it. Murked it. By the way, these are submissions by my YouTube members. If you're a YouTube member, you can have your photographs intensely reviewed like this. Hey, look at my sign. My sign gives you all the different instructions as to how to have your photos reviewed. All right, Kyle's next. Kyle's shooting with the Fuji X-T5 with a Nitecore 28. All right, let's have some looks at Kyle. Kyle, new viewer, new member. Let's look at Kyle's photographs. This is something, Kyle. It's a little flat as far as the contrast. What I want you to look at is notice that it's quite gray. This is white, but it's not white. This jacket could also be white, but it's not white. This sign could also be white, but it's not white. There's a contrast issue, and this is flat. So, and also you clipped the edge of his guitar here, and there's so much space on this side for you to move over and not clip his guitar. I know that you're also trying to make up here part of this photo, but the photo could have easily ended right here and put all your focus on your subject. Right now, because this is in the picture up here, our eye is following that arrow out of the photo. If that arrow was pointing at him, it would bring our eye to him. But that arrow was sending our eye out of the picture. This here is just a little distracting. So I want you to make sure that you're not cutting, clipping, or anything like that. Where you cut him on the bottom is fine, although it could have gone up just a little bit. Expression, the light on his face, his outfit, everything is quite great. Again, I just want you to note where you're putting him because of all of these distracting things that are behind him. This is such a great subject. This is a great idea for a photo, shooting this gentleman, but just make sure that where you're putting him, you're not fighting between the background and your subject, so we can be singular focused on your subject. I hope that helps. And also, let's go, Luis. Mr. Santiago, welcome. Glad you're here. And also, again, remember, this is white. This is white. This jacket, based on the color of that, is also likely white. Make sure that you're really watching your contrast. Kyle, don't take criticism as any kind of comparison, because when I was in photography school and I would say to my teacher after my class, like, my work is way better than that photographer's work. How come I'm getting a C and he's getting an A? And my teacher would say to me, well, because that's an A for him, because I mark you against yourself. I'm not marking you against anyone else. I'm marking you against you. So that's an A for him. For you, this is a C. So know that there's no competition here. I'm marking you against yourself, and the things that I'm saying about your photographs and who I'm judging before and who I'm judging after has nothing to do with anything. It's just the things that you need to watch out for when you're making photos, which has nothing to do with any other photographer but you. All right, let's get to the next picture. Next photo from Kyle. I like the feeling here, Kyle, a lot. I like the feeling a lot. It's like a really good mood. I like the motion. I like the fact that these kids are looking at you. I want you to be really disciplined with your focus, because in here, this kid isn't quite in focus. He's not really in focus. He's now out of focus. So I'm not really sure where you're focusing here. When you're shooting with a non-mirrorless camera, you have to pick the focusing point. And it looks like you wanted to focus here, but we're just a little bit off. Also, the photo to me should end right here. The photo should end right here. And anything behind these kids should be cut off. And the photo should actually, I think, the photo should go further that way. So you can see a little bit more of the people walking by and looking at these kids. Like, I want to see more of what's happening over here and less of what's happening behind them. It's a very busy picture also, and you're low at their angle, which shows so much of these people. If you had have stood up and shot down on them a little bit, you would have cut all these people's heads off. So you would have just seen these faces and everybody else would be headless. That's another idea. Again, it's tricky to have another person look at your photographs and break them down in this way. I have a gift for looking at photographs and helping photographers make them better. It's hard to hear, but again, don't think of it as a critique. Think of it as help. All right, let's look at another photo. Okay, this one, although there's lots of stuff happening, Kyle, and I do appreciate it, nothing is in focus. Nothing is in focus. So everything back here is out of focus. Everything in the foreground is also out of focus. So I'm not sure with your focus points if you're actually choosing a specific focus point, or like making sure when these guys are coming down, that there's a square on this guy, or there's a square on this guy, or there's a square on this guy, and these people are in focus. Because again, there's lots of stuff happening in this photo. I definitely appreciate the composition of these guys coming down the hill and the leading line, and yes, but the thing that we have to nail, like on the first day of photography class, is focus. If the photo isn't in focus, it's not a photo that anyone sees. Simple. Don't show out of focus pictures. It lowers your value. It lowers also how serious it shows that you are about photography. Focus. Focus is like where your eye goes first. And if there's nothing sharp, then that's something that we just don't show as a photo. That just goes into the bin, and then we show the focused one. It's okay. Like, every photo that we take can't possibly be perfect, but you have to know that focus, that's like focus, exposure, shutter speed, aperture, like those kinds of camera basics are things that, like, in order to improve at photography, improve your focus, your photos will go. That's the second photo in a row where there was a focus problem. So now it means you have to be checking your focus. You can't just shoot photos, because without checking, like, all these guys are moving. It seems to be night. The shutter speed's low. Like, conditionally, this isn't an ideal conditions to shoot a photo with a bunch of people ripping with motorcycles. It's hard to get in focus. So something you have to watch for. Yeah. Okay, let's look at Kyle's next picture. So what I noticed, Kyle, is you're taking pictures. And what I want you to be thinking about is making pictures. Meaning, just because you have a camera and stuff is happening, you see here, everybody with a camera is taking photos of what's happening. Everybody. With iPhones, with pro cameras. So this becomes like anybody who's there has the same photo. Everybody who's there has the same photo. So the difference between taking photos, which is like, oh, there's a tree, click. Oh, there's that, click. Oh, it's a car race, click. Oh, they came around again, click. Like, that's just taking photos. Photographers get paid to make photos, which is, I have an idea. I want to shoot a CD cover. And then you execute the photo based on the idea. So when it comes to making photos, and you look here, you see I don't take photos. I make photos. It's idea and execution. It's non-distracting backgrounds. It's your eyes are focused completely on the thing that I want you to look at. So when you just go with the camera anywhere and just shoot anything that's happening, there's nothing special about the photos. If you're taking pictures and you want to make them the way that Alan Schaller takes pictures, when you look at Alan Schaller, this is a photographer who takes pictures. He doesn't make pictures, he takes pictures. But the way that he takes pictures is on such a thought out, composed, captivating way. It's not just pointing the camera at shit that everybody else is pointing the camera at. That's how you become a photographer. It's not, hey, there's something happening, let's take a picture. Save that for snapshots. Save that for iPhone pictures. Crafting photographs of the things that you see have to be incredibly thought out. It has to be slower. And guess what? If there's 20 other people there taking photos, that's not the photo that you should be taking, because it's just a snapshot. If you look beside you and there's someone else with a camera, that's not your moment. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense, Kyle? As far as the way that I talk about making pictures versus taking pictures? You see what I mean? It's just stuff is happening. I saw it. I took a photo. You know, I'm trying to get you to the point where you're crafting photos. You have an idea and then you're executing. Just going out with your camera and just taking photos is nearly impossible to shoot to the level that you need to. The first thing, removing distractions, slowing down, and like looking not just at what your subject is, but like what's behind your subject. What else is in your photo? Let's look at another one. And your last photo here, this is the most deliberate. It's close up, but again, still, it's a snapshot. Like, you got this close to this gentleman, you're this close. So now, wait for the car to drive away. That's right here. Shoot him from this direction so there's not two pylons coming directly out of his face. You know what I mean? There's buildings behind him. He's very interesting. He's got a great face, but you just need to like set up the picture a little bit more, to have him stand against a wall that's non-distracting, so the photo isn't fighting with like all this stuff in the background. And then guess what? I guarantee that you take one photo or you take two photos. Click, click, got it, and you walk away. So then there's no possible way that you can get it in two photos. I shoot 100 photos for one amazing photo. So if you're thinking that you can get it in two, you need to shoot more photos. You need to shoot through the picture, because as you shoot 20, 30, 40, 50 more photos of this guy, you'll notice, oh yeah, this is distracting. The tire is distracting. The pylons are distracting. This strap behind his ear is distracting. What does his face look like from that way? What does it look like from the other way? Like, you actually start to investigate and really get into the photo, which shows how serious that you're taking it. We have to be more intentional and more serious with our photos. It's not just like, I mean, you can do that, but you'll never make a living. You'll never make a living if you shoot photos like that. So, if I had to pick the best photo from you, Kyle, it's your first photo. This photo is the most deliberate. It's the most focused. It's the subject is looking at you. It's in focus-ish. It's closer than all the other ones. This is the best photo. This is the type of photos that people are going to be interested in at looking at. The other photos are busy and out of focus and distracting. So that's what I want you to work on, is shifting your mindset from taking pictures to making pictures. Everybody with an iPhone takes pictures. You're a photographer. Make pictures. Have ideas for photos and then execute them with the subject. That's what I want you to try. All right. Next person. I hope that helped you, Kyle. And again, this is helpful information. You can take it as like negative if you wish, but this is a gift that I just gave you. That making pictures versus taking pictures is the difference between not making $1 at taking photos, because everybody does that, and making a couple of $100,000 a year because you make photos. You have great ideas and great executions. All right, let's look at Alice. Alice says more spaceman photos from her last camping trip. You're so silly, Alice. I really like this. I like the fact that you left a little bit of space for the gutter, meaning the center of the photo. The center of the photo is right here. Oops, I need to actually use my line tool. Yes, this is the center of your photo, Alice, right here. So you left a space between the two of you in the magazine, which is cool. I love the fact that this is kind of distracting and silly. The overhang is great, leading you back to the alien mask. There is some paper towels here that I would have definitely moved away that paper towel roll, because just the green grass there would have made it a lot less distracting. Also, the tag on your camping chair, I would also take the tag off your camping chair, because that's something that easily you can do. And it just, like, the paper towel here and all the stuff that's on the table is absolutely fine. The log at your toes, I think that log is a little distracting. I would move that log right here to give your eye something to look at over there. Other than that, Alice, that's great. And also your windmill, I would rotate the windmill forward so the windmill is actually facing us. Right now it's facing that way. I would love the windmill to be facing us. Other than that, Alice, it's a dope ass photo. The light's great. I love the backlighting and this exaggerated head, your body position, the hot dog. Also his hot dog, your husband, it's hard to see it because it's so straight in the frame. My suggestion is having it come out this way. You see how it's dead straight in the frame? It makes it harder to see. Yours is super easy to see, but I didn't notice that he had a hot dog until I noticed that you had one. So that's just small things. But I hope that helps. Let's look at another one from Alice. All right, Vicky. You're so crazy. Like, I love this series. This is great. The multiple exposure, Alice, is great. Alice is here. Alice is here. Her husband is here. Her husband is here. They're doing different positions. She's got the camera locked off on a tripod, and she made a seamless composite. Seamless. The center of your frame, Alice, is my only issue, because the center of your frame is right here, and it kind of drops through your husband. I would have biased this whole shot. I would have offset this whole shot a little bit that way. Like, literally put all your, like, let the shot end like here and cut out no lifeguards on duty, and then you drop your gutter right down here. So you have 4 people on, or 3 people on one side of the frame, and then just you over here on that side of the frame. You could also have punched in a little bit and then move your husband this way a little bit. You move that way a little bit and leave a little bit of a gap between you, between the two of you, so your hands can like stretch a little bit and you can put the gutter in between you. Again, though, still the ideas, the light, you're pushing your ideas so much further than you ever have before. The way that the light comes in super radically from this side is great. But keep in mind, your face is lit, but your husband's face, because he's looking at you, is not. Just the back of his head. So that's a little tricky because you shot so late in the day. But it's still a dope photo. I still feel like it could have ended here and been like a bit more of a punched in shot, like this. I feel like that's the photo. It's much more punched in. Yeah. Just 2 cents in a bag of chips. All right, Alice, this is really, really great. Let's look at your last photo. I'm very curious to see what the last one is. Oh, you have 2 more. Amazing. Okay, so 2 more. This is great. It's very center focused, and it's a little dark in exposure because of where the leading line drops in. Your head gets a little cut at, or we lose a little bit of your head in the water. My suggestion here is you would move a little bit closer to the frame, so then you have this come above your head, and then this steeple here you would have noticed a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, just have you drop down a little bit here, and then now you have this coming up around you and it frames you. Right now, I think because you're a little bit close, and also there's a man back here walking that I can see once I enlarge it. Again, small things, Alice, but again, it's a really strong photo. The sky, the dramatic sky in here, this accent here, the boat up here, this boat here is all like super interesting and really holds my attention. The texture of the water, the texture of the rocks is all really great. Your focus, I just think that you need to step like a little bit forward. It's like such a small thing, but these kinds of tweaks help you when you're looking at your frame after the fact. You're like, yes, I'm gonna watch for that. All right, let's look at Alice's last picture. This is so cute. You and your husband are so goddamn cute, Vicky. This is so great. This is so great. So great. I love this a lot. Like, this could very well be my favorite photo. Like, what an amazing photo to have with your husband. Like, yes or yes. What an amazing photo to have with your husband. This is great. This is a great cover of our beloved Behind the Picture magazine. It's fantastic, Vicky. This is just amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. That is 4 photographs from our girl, Vicky. Vicky is a mod. She's been helping a lot with the channel since she started watching like almost 2 years ago. And also Vicky now runs the Instagram for Behind the Picture. If you're not finding or not following BTP with Carty, Behind the Picture with Carty, that Instagram account is just your images. It's not my images. It's just your viewer submitted images. So the pictures that I freak out about, Vicky, culls, and posts. So when you're sharing your photos to the submission folders, whether you're a whether you're a subscriber only or a member, if you submit photos, include your Instagram account, because we're going to tag everybody who we put there. So make sure you're following us on Instagram. Vicky, your best photo. Jesus Christ, you're making it really hard. You're making it hard. You're making it hard. Let me do it like this. Let me do it like this. Vicky's 4 photos. 1, 2, 3, 4. For pure perfection, composition, and light, this is your best photo right here, Vicky. I absolutely love it. For difficulty, this is unequivocally your best photo. So I'm giving you 2 of the loves because you deserve it. For difficulty, this is amazing. And again, just reminding you, I would punch this photo in just a touch. But again, spectacular. Really inspired work. And as I was talking to you, Kyle, earlier, you can see the difference between like idea and execution and then just taking photos. Like when you make photos, it's just such a further stretch, and you do have the ability to shoot like this. You can do this. It just takes thought. And I'm shifting your mindset and shifting your how you shoot and how you do things. That's why it feels like in your body, and when you hear it in your ears, that's why it feels that way. It's because you know that it's right. You know that I'm right, and you know if you do shift this way to this way of shooting, it's going to be way harder, but the rewards are amazing. So shift your mindset from taking pictures to making pictures. All right, let's get into our next shooter. See how many we got here. We're at 440. Thank God I started early. This is Puppet Master, my photo shoot with Jen. Shot with a 75 equivalent, cloudy but bright day, and then some night shots. All right, this is Puppet. Let's go, Puppet Master. This is nice. This is nice. I like the idea. I like the angle. The exposure is good. What I need you to help is with the direction. There's something that people do when they're in front of the camera, and this girl is doing it. Watch my chin. She's going like this. She's literally pulling in and pulling back. Look how she's doing it. And you can see it all in here, and you can see it all in the muscles in her face. She's pulling back. So everybody naturally does that when they're in front of the camera, is they actually pull back. What you have to do is get them to extend their chin out, which strengthens all the muscles in their neck. It avoids double chins, and it actually strengthens their jawline. So that same photo, instead of her pulling back, her pushing in would have made her look like she has a longer neck and a greater distance between her chin and here. Right now, she's pulling back so much that it almost looks like she has no chin. I know it's a small thing, but that's definitely happening, and you have to be able to catch it when she's pulling in. She's pulling back right here. The idea, the autofocus, the shallow depth of field, the composition, everything else you have, like the way that you framed her using this shallow bokeh, look at it as a cover. Like, you have all the elements here. I think the one thing that you're missing is directing her, directing the subject. I like her head angle, the way that she's turned away, and I'm sure that you directed that. I think that I think that that's the small thing. But again, the next time that you shoot, you'll notice when you watch the video of me shooting Taya, which is called Mastering Natural Light on Location with Minimal Setup, you'll see how much I direct the subject. You'll see Taya's like this, and I go like this, extend your chin out, and then I explain it. So, Puppet, the photography is there. Like, clearly, the photography is there. We just got to get now you working on how to direct the subject so you're shooting them in the most flattering way. This is an excellent shot. I'm giving it an 11 out of 10, despite the pullback on the chin. That's something like how you call it, like me to you, like we know about it. She's never going to notice that in her photo, like she loves it. It's just for you in future, for all of you, when you're watching, directing your subject. And watch, as soon as you like grab a camera, let me grab my camera. As soon as you grab a camera and point it at someone, they go like this. Watch. It's very subtle, but people go like this. They rarely go like this. They rarely lean into the photo. They always take my picture. You know what I mean? And then they complain because their photos look bad. They're pulling, the subjects are pulling away. So you have to, even if they're a voluntary subject, like they want you to take their photo, they'll still do. Guys go like this. Guys go like this. They go up and to the left, up and to the left, up and to the left. They go kind of like Kennedy. So you have to tell a guy to stop doing this and start doing like this, head down and looking. You see the difference? Small things. And yes, I do shoot with a 1926 Kodak Brownie. All right. So, let's look at more from Puppet. I hope that helps. I mean, again, I hope it helps. It has to help. This girl's a great model. This is cute. This is cute. Good leading line. Good stretch up. Like, great composition. The thing that I see first is how close you are to the bottom of the frame. You cut her toes. You have so much space up here, but you cut an item that can be for sale in a magazine. What can they sell? They can sell shoes, they can sell her tights, they can sell her dress, they can sell her earrings. But you can't cut the shoes off because once it goes to print, the cut is here. So now you're really cutting her shoes off. So make sure that you're not cutting toes, feet, fingers, elbows, like in certain shots. You have lots of space up here. That happens when you're, like how you call it, blown away by the photograph that you see. You're amazed by the composition and the shot and everything, and like you miss the simplest thing, which is like, oh shit, I cut her foot off. So that's why you shoot 50 pictures for just this one idea. You don't shoot 3 pictures and then go on. You shoot 50 pictures for this one idea, and you have all kinds of different variations, and you have all kinds of shots that you like that the foot isn't cut off. Because after shot 10, you notice, oh shit, I'm cutting the foot off, and then you fix it. So great light, great exposure, great focus. Great focus. I feel like she's looking a little bit too high. You can see how she's looking too high up here, which means we don't see enough of her actual eye. I mean, I appreciate the smile, I appreciate the vibe and the stretching, but where you're going to murder this shot is with eye contact. She needs to look at the camera. She needs to look at the camera with this picture. At the camera, with her arms up like that, with her head at the right angle, that's fire. So more shooting through the picture and not just like look up, do that, look up here, look up here, look up here. Like you see, if my head's at that angle, like hers is, right? My head is at the same angle as hers. And then my chin is up like hers. And then I'm looking, but I'm looking over there. Now you're seeing too much eye goo and not enough of the brown of my eye. Yes or yes? So it's about you correcting all of that stuff and learning the nuance and being like, okay, up, blah, 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 cool, nice lines. But now let me also get head like this, chin angle, blah, 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 looking nice in V and smooth, and extend your chin out and drop your chin down. And then with the arms up, let me get that. You know what I mean? Shooting through the picture. It's so powerful. All right. Thank you for subscribing. Let's go. Welcome to the goddamn Carty party. Thank you for all the hearts. I appreciate it. I definitely see the hearts, so keep blasting the hearts. It makes me feel all... it makes me feel all... inside. All right, that's the second from Puppet Master. What's my time like? 4:40, 4:49. I'm okay. I'm on a schedule here. This one, Puppet, is dark. It's dark. It's dark in exposure. I can see you're kind of using some sort of a flash or something, but without a light meter, the exposure in here is all dark. We have a bit of a hard shadow on that nose just because you're using an undiffused source, and her elbow is up on the same side that the light's coming from, which is blocking all the light that's hitting this side of her body because her elbow is doing this from the same side where the light's coming from. Do this. And again, the hand on the head business that girls want to do. Girls don't stand there like that. They don't do that. So when you're shooting and a model does this, go, hey, don't do that. Put your hands down. Be in a more relaxed pose, because people don't do this. People don't do this. People don't do this. You know what I mean? So when it comes to poses, I've said before, buy the latest Vogue. Open Vogue. Look at Vogue. Find poses, and then pull the tear sheets out, put post-it notes on all the pages with the cool poses, and then your subject, go like this. See this pose? Try that. And then you're looking and you're like, no, head this way. Like, you coach them into these poses that you're finding from Vogue if you don't know poses. Because what happens when you don't, and you're just like this, shooting, doing anything, because you expect the person who's in front of your camera to know how to pose. And because you don't know poses, you're just shooting everything and it all looks cool. Nighttime photography, when you're already new with light directing, it's like, now let's throw another thing that you don't have experience in, which is shooting at night, on top of it. It makes it tricky. You're adding so many you're adding so many variables that it becomes hard to keep the train on the track. For me, we jumped the shark here in this picture. And you can see the difference for me from this picture to this picture. It's like no light on her face. You don't really see her. We're losing the outfit. I mean, the offset composition definitely works. The offset composition, like, for sure works, but exposure and her wearing black on black at night with the flat, it all is kind of ends up being a bit muddy. Let me look at another. This picture, same sort of thing. There's no light. The light is coming from down here, low. So you now have that up light that looks like when you hold a flashlight below your chin, and there's no exposure on her face. So for me, this only works if she's, number one, crouched down. If the light is down here, it only works if she's crouched down. And then you can see there's no light on her face. The exposure here is literally 2 stops under exposed. The window is what you're getting. Like, you're photographing the window, but the only way that this works is if she's a profile. If she turns her face like she's looking dead at camera. So if the light's from behind, like if I turn my light off, there's no light on my face. So the only way that you can kind of see me is if I turn profile when there's light from behind. Because if not, there's just nothing. So that's what's happening here. There's no light on her face. And she's not profile. And the best exposure that you have in this photo is happening right here, underneath her arms and down here. So to me, this is not a photo. This is not a location that you make a photo, and the light that you have that's coming in on this side of her face is not enough. So when you're now with the subject and trying to endeavor into now, okay, I've been shooting for hours and now it's going into the night, and you don't have studio lights that are portable with soft boxes and all that stuff to continue shooting with the same quality outside, just wash it. Or you have to be looking for like real light, like really bright spots, and making sure that the light's hitting their face. Shooting at night for newer photographers is really tricky. And when you look at how well you did with her during the day, it's just like this compared to this is just like, there's no comparison. Do you know what I mean? This particular picture, it's a horizontal picture that doesn't, first of all, you're cutting off both her hands. You're cutting off her hand here and you're cutting off her hand here because her arms are like out and this is her pose. You say, no, don't reach this way or reach down or reach up, but don't reach this way because now you can see my hands are cropped out of the picture and you're holding the camera this way. I'm dead center. Like, okay, I'm offset a little bit. There's no place to put her in a magazine. And if this was for her portfolio, horizontal photos don't help a modeling portfolio unless they can go between 2 pages. Single vertical pages, like in a modeling book like this. Look, this is how you shoot a double page. So it goes like this between 2 pages, right? All the other stuff has to be like this. Single images, right? And if it is a double page, it has to work between 2 pages because this is what modeling portfolios look like. They're just, it's like single, unless it's 2 pages where it actually fits. I mean, do I have a double page? I think I have one in this spread. It's fun looking at this old work, yo. Holy shit. Yeah, I do. Here, this is what a double page looks like. It's like this. 2 pages in a magazine, so nothing important is on the gutter. So when we're shooting and you deliver a shot like this, there's no place that you can put it. I want you to be very conscious about the gutter. And you're cutting both her hands off. So that's something that it's just not sexy to shoot a model and not see her hands. Like if they're like down and out this way, cool, but like have her do something different so you can see her hands. Unless her hands are busted and she's got a bad nails, chooser nails, dirty fingernails, that kind of shit. But by the way, the first thing I do when I photograph a model, the first thing I go like this. Let me see. She's like, what? I'm like, show me your hands. And she goes like this. And then I look and I check her nails to see if I can actually show her hands in the photo. That's what I do. All right, let's get into another one. Time is a cooking. So your best photo, puppet, is a cross between 2 photos. It's a cross between 2 photos. It is a toss-up between this picture as your best photo and this picture as your best photo. I think the small mistake on the toe here, it's a small thing, but it's a thing. I want you to notice how silly a mistake of cropping the toe like this is on a photo like this. Silly mistake. So that kind of stuff that I'm going to constantly call you on is why that shot is not quite as strong as the first one. The first shot is your winner, but the pulling back on the chin is something that I won't be able to not see when I see this photo. She's pulling back. Something that now that you've heard it, now that everybody who's listening to this has heard that, watch the next time you put a camera on someone, watch them do this. And then guess what's the next thing that you do? Correct it. Say, hey, don't pull back, push out. Don't pull back, push out. That's the next thing you'll do. And watch how much more relaxed and confident your subjects look in front of your camera. That's it. All right, let's look at another photographer. By the way, the submissions stopped. The cutoff point is 6 p.m. when I start my episode. From that point, that's the cutoff point. So anybody who is submitting pictures past that, and I have so many to look at. Okay, we are at our man Andrew Basson with this beautiful macro B photo. This is beautiful. This is really beautiful. I wish I had the whole photo, Andrew, because you did crop this to 8x10. There is more photo on either side of this. Horizontals are 8x12. You've made a beautiful 8x10. It's going to frame beautifully. I want the whole photo. I want to see the whole photo. And I also want to see like a higher res version of this photo so I can really, really get into it. Your focus seems pretty much on point. Again, when you're on a tripod, when you shoot this, your focus will be even tighter. When you shoot with a little bit of a deeper depth of field or a narrower aperture, your focus will be even tighter. Your focus on these bees is so narrow, one movement of the bee and it's out of focus. So shoot lots of frames. Shoot lots of frames. This is a very beautiful composition. I just want to see the whole picture. This is beautiful though. Well played. Well played. All right. Justin Sitter says these are results from the ADOX CMS 22. I don't know what that is. Testing an ODOX. I understand that I do not know what an ODOX CMS 20 is. If it's a camera, if it's a lens, if it's a body, I don't know what that is. So help me, if you're watching, with just this is my camera and the camera is that. If you said I was shooting with this lens, light, but anyways, just explain more because I don't know what that is. I think it's a light, but I don't know what it is. Let's have a look. This is the first photo. It looks as if you're hitting this with additional light, which is why I think it's so flat. But I feel like if you were doing that, then there would be some sort of shadowing happening from the trees underneath. This is a dope photo. There's a couple things that are distracting to me. First thing, I love how this white is like a perfect white where it blends seamlessly. Because of that, up here is distracting. I would love that to be not there. Secondly, the flagpole, because the flag is blurred and not like pushed out one way or the other, I would take that flagpole out altogether and just leave it white. Just leave it like this, with this gone and with this gone. The way that this frames this dome, the composition, the sharpness from the tippy top down to here is really dope. This is an 11. This is a dope photo. Again, I just, as mentioned, I don't know what an ADOX CMS 22. Yeah, ISO 20 shot at EI 16. There's a lot of things that you're saying here that I don't know what it means. I don't know what EI 16 is. I know what F16 is. And ISO 20, I don't know how you're achieving ISO 20 because most digital, like, this is why it's like, write a paragraph. 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 Justin, because I don't know what you're talking about. All right. This is dope. Again, it's a little soft and a little too contrasty. I'm noticing that you like contrast, like your stuff is radically contrasty. Notice when I say radically contrasty, there's absolutely no detail on the trees in here. It's just black. And then there's detail up here, but okay, so it's a film camera. It's ISO 20, but the camera's exposed at ISO 16. Got it. Now, Kyle, okay. So Kyle's answering for Justin. Got it. That also is very confusing because the way that you're answering, Kyle, it's as if they're your photos. So please, as I get into the end of this episode, be super clear. This is Justin's photos. Kyle's answering like they're your photos. Say, Kyle shot this on film. Or say, Justin shot this on film, Kyle, because that helps me when I'm quickly reading chat and I see your name. Now I'm thinking that your name's not matching and it just makes everything confused. Okay, film. What is happening is that the film scans or how they're being printed or how you're treating them digitally is causing, I think, almost too much contrast. The super low ISO film is a novelty. And again, I appreciate it, but it's still like a novelty and ends up looking more like lith and less like photography. Lith is like film that is just white and black. You know what I mean? White and black. So that kind of look when you're shooting just hyper, like, to me, oftentimes like ends up feeling like a crutch and not photography. Like, it's about composition and idea, the techniques and the tricks and all that shit that happens afterwards. It's like, I'm trying to get you to commercial success. I'm trying to get you to the point where you can sell prints, you can make money with your camera. This picture, the first one, definitely has, like, I think a bit more of like a viable look, although the trees there's like no detail. This one here, for me, it's a little bit too far, and also either I don't have a highest quality enough scan, because you can see how the scan is starting to digitize up here, or the picture's not in focus because I can't actually see some of the fine details here on this one. It looks like this type of stuff is a little bit more interesting as far as subject matter, but because this file isn't big enough, again, it makes it difficult for me to actually see the focus. As I zoom in on this, it's rasterized, so I can't tell if it's actually in focus or not. The composition is strong, like I definitely feel it, but I feel like shooting film, going through all the hoops of this ISO 20, how limiting ISO 20 is, how you have to then blast it with light, then you get tons of contrast, and like all of that just for like a super low ISO film, which is essentially to give you no grain. Our digital cameras at ISO 100 give less grain than this film at ISO 20. So I'm just trying to understand the process. For me, Justin, I think that it's convoluted. And I think that the effect that you're getting with this could easily be imitated digitally with less issues. It's another picture I just need to see a little bit higher quality. I can't tell from this scan like how good this capture is, and at the same time, if you're shooting ISO 20 and it's 35 millimeter, it's in a 35 millimeter camera, the quality still that you're getting with a 35 millimeter camera, it's not going to equal digital. So I'm just, again, like, I'm trying to understand why. That's like, why? Why the film? Why the process? Is it for a series? Is it a body of work? Is it prints? Or are you just experimenting? Those are my questions. All right, let's go on to Sebastian. Justin. And he says results from testing. So yeah, I just want to know, Justin, what the reason for the testing is, what the final goal is with this body of work, and if you literally shot the same file digitally, shot it 35 millimeter on this film and went through the whole process, and then just took your scan from your ODocs and then took your high res raw file from your digital camera and then added a treatment to that to make it look the way that this does, I feel like the quality with the digital camera at 25 megapixels would be so far beyond what 35 millimeter ISO 20 film could do. Anyways, so yeah, help me understand what the experiment and the testing is for. All right, Sebastian. Hi, beautiful people. Saw on Instagram a guy took a really nice photo with a burning newspaper, so I tried to play with fire a bit. Difficult with wind, darkness, but I believe with every session, especially the difficult ones, I become a better photographer. Pro tip for the future. Always check what's on the other side of what you're trying to burn. I almost set fire to the king's portrait. This is really good, Sebastian. I like this idea. Let's look at Sebastian's first idea. I like the color with the hoodie and the background. Make sure that you're not going too far with your treatment. Also, the shot's a little soft because of the slow shutter speed and the camera blur. Make sure that you're really nailing the focus. It's tricky when you have a lot of elements. This first test shot, it didn't hit, I think, as much as some of the ones later on. And I have seen some of the ones later on that I know hit a little bit more. Where is that? Well, okay. Well, my cover overlay is not turning on. There it is. Yes. This is, it's strong again. It's just like exposure is low in here in the face. But again, it's a strong idea. Let's look at another. I got to ramp this up a little bit. This is a cool picture. I like this idea. Again, it's very center focused. I feel like this I'm a broken record. Offset here or shoot vertical. Like, this is a vertical picture. Anything left or right is not important as what's happening right here in the middle of the frame. Like, this is a vertical picture if you shoot it this way. And then it can be a cover. But yeah, once you take this vertical shot and turn it now into this horizontal shot and now turn it into a vertical, you're just wasting a third of your sensor. So knowing when to shoot vertical versus shooting horizontal. Kyle, don't think that you're stressing me, man. Not at all. Come on now. It's just the live streaming part that's hard. And this is dope. This is dope. Only focus. The focus, we kind of missed the focus on you here. Just a little. It's tricky because there's lots of stuff happening in this picture. And again, it's tricky because, yeah, it's tricky because you just got so much stuff happening. I think this is the last photo. I think I'm looking at them out of order. Let me look at another. Yeah, in this case, the newspaper is in focus and you're out of focus, which I don't hate. I think maybe you wanted you in focus and the newspaper out of focus. The way that you got the burn going on with this like hole in order to show your face is amazing. Like, this is definitely your best photo from the series. Like, this is this is bordering on like this is bordering on a 10 out of 10, like for sure a 10 out of 10. It's definitely on point. I think the only small thing I would love to see is a variation where you're in focus and not this. But the fact that these are like self-portraits, I'm assuming like you went hard and deep for this. This is your last one, just where you're pointing. Again, I think too centered with the horizontal. I think this particular picture would have been stronger composed like this, where it's not dead center, but you're offset. You know what I mean? It's just a small thing, but small thing. And you see how much more effective compositionally it looks like this. Your leading line, this brings you right into the photo. And also the center of the photo ends up falling right here. Right here. Yeah, small things. All right. Next. Okay. So that best photo, clearly, I think I mentioned this here is absolutely your best photo. This is absolute fire. Absolute fire. Should be thrilled with this picture. So good. So good. All right. Let's look at Romeo. Romeo. I love this through the glass idea. This is great. It's very deliberate. The tattoo, the smile, the little highlight of what's happening, outside above his head is epic. This is great. Let's look at it, what it looks like as a cover. You gave good headspace. This is a 10 out of 10, 100%. I love this. This is perfect. Great job. Great job. Great job. Perfect composition. Small things. This is an 8x12, meaning 8 inches across here, 12 inches down. How close his fingers are to the bottom of the frame is a little tight. I would have him just push his hands up just a little bit more so his hands ended like here. Because when you go to an 8x10, you're going to lose a little bit up here, and you are going to lose even more down here. So that's the small thing, is remember when you're shooting 8x12 and you're shooting vertical, that you kind of have to crop it after the fact to go to Instagram or 8x10, and you'll lose one side or the other. All right. Another picture from Romeo. All right, Romeo, this is dope. Just a little bit too much headspace. Again, more of a snapshot. The focus is on him. The depth of field is making it so he's a little out of focus, as you can see here, because you're shooting with like a wider aperture. We have him in focus and this eye starting to get just a little softer. Also, lots of stuff behind that's distracting. There's a car here, there's a fire truck back here, like, so shoot this way. So the fire, like this fire truck becomes the whole background, so there's not like lots of distractions. If you look at your first photo, which is 100% deliberate, and although there's elements in the background, those elements add to the picture and they add context. This is a little bit more distracting. And also all of this that's happening above here is all too much top space. Really, what's happening below here is more important. So just make sure that you're watching that. Okay, let's look at our next. This looks like some street photography. This is a good idea, good composition, and good focus. Oops. Good focus. A little bit, yeah, it's good. As far as the way that you crop this will work out well as an 8x10. And also open shade, like really good shade on the face. The exposure here is about, I would say, a third of a stop over. Make sure that this isn't going too light. I would just darken the face in exposure after the fact. you can do that in post. Easy breezy. This picture, she doesn't look thrilled to be in front of the camera. You're crouching down, aiming up at her, which definitely elevates her, but also includes this below her in the photo, which is a little bit distracting. The ice cream in the background is a little bit distracting. So again, just turn that way just a little bit, shoot that way to cut this distracting stuff out of the frame. I know you probably also have distracting stuff if you stand up. So I would also just punch in just a little bit tighter. Her body language, she looks very like she's like about to box you. She doesn't look thrilled. So I don't know if this is street photography or if someone you asked to take a picture or just took a photo. Tricky. A little top light, you can see by how her eyes are like hollow, because it's high noon-ish in open shade. Even still makes her have like those raccoon eyes. And you can also see the dark light that's under her chin here. Small things, but things to watch out for. And your last photo is a very huge departure from the rest of your photos. This is an amazing drone shot. Amazing. Really, really great. Really great. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I wonder if this 8x10 can be extended to an 8x12. It's very beautiful. Again, would be perfect for a frame. Would be perfect for a frame. Yeah, it's the way that the road goes. Like, I really do like this road. It is right through the center of the picture. I would have loved to move it just a little bit that way to the left. I would have moved it, or to the right. I would have moved this road and had this road coming in this way a little bit and just reveal way more of this road and way more of what's happening on that side of the photo. Also, it's an 8x10. Is this pre-cropped, or does the sensor give you an 8x10 only, whether you're vertical or horizontal? These are my questions. I think you should be able to get a 16x9 frame from that. But again, this is really, really strong. Really strong. Okay, so favorite photo. Well, there's two different types of photography here. So favorite photo from the portraits. Favorite photo from the portraits, clearly, without question, is this. This is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. You should be absolutely thrilled with this photo. It's brilliant. So this is what I'm going to call your best photo. This one here. You get the smoke and the applause. We like this one a lot. And then this one is definitely amazing. I'm going to rate this one as well because it's like brilliant. Beautiful, great light, and the first signs of frost, which are very scary. I don't want to see frost. Oh my God. Frost. Okay. Next, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more photographers to go through. How's my time? All right. Ted, a viewer that's been watching me for a couple of years. He's got a very, very unique style with his macro photography. This is dope, Ram. It's dope. And it kind of comes in and out of focus a little bit, but I know that that's because of your shallow depth of field. I'm also so curious as to like what this is. I love this series. I love the fact that you're doing this again and also using orange. Like, I love this vibe. I would love some sort of a technical breakdown for the people who are watching as to how you do this. Like, I would love to know how you do this. I think that also I would love to bring on one viewer per episode to just talk about their work and their progress. And Ram, you're definitely somebody who I'd love to have on to talk through the process of some of this work, because it really is magic. This is rated. I love it. It's a really good vibe, super strong, and no question what it is, despite his very unique silhouette style of doing these insects. He's been working on this look for a while. Keep in mind, this isn't the only look that he does. And by the look of this photograph here, you can see that Ram is a very strong technical photographer. He can shoot this way. Look at the background. Look at how the background just liquefies. Like, it's really, really strong. Cross composition, it's offset. Again, the details on, like, look at the drops of water on this thread. Like, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. That is a mosquito detail from Ramted. So good. And Ram's last photo is a web being made from the very back of a spider. That is absolutely sick, Ram. Like, what a shot. Holy shit. Like, absolutely amazing. Like, three bangers. Like, 3 bangers. 1, 2, 3. And for me, this is the showstopper. This is your best photo. It absolutely gets the smoke. Wow. 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 Holy shit. That's Ramted. All right, Melin. Melin says, my first submissions here are going to be pictures taken on my vacation to Bulgaria this summer. 5D M4, 5D Mark IV, 70 to 40, 50 millimeter, 135. Let's look at photographs from Milan. All right, Milan. So I see, I notice you're doing some stuff in processing, and what you're doing in processing is actually affecting your colors. You're pushing your sliders too far, and you're starting to get rasterizing in between your colors. That means that you are going nuts with your sliders, with your saturation, and with your treatment. I can see that there's an effect over top of this photo, but you have to make sure that you don't go too far, because you can see there's lots of instances where your color can't reconcile. Do you know what I mean? And you can also see here in the detail of your statues, because of your sliders, your colors can't reconcile. So that's not the photography, but what you're doing in post. So be careful. Don't go too far. And I think you're going a little too far. Compositionally strong. I definitely feel it. Good discipline with the lines. Your leading line. Good discipline. I just think that processing, I think I need to do more content on processing. I think it would help. Let's look at another from Milan. This is strong leading line, but it's cropped to a very strange proportion. I know sometimes people like to free crop their images, but photos are like 2x3, 3x4, 4x5, 16x9. But when you just free crop, it becomes, like, first of all, incredibly difficult and expensive to frame. And also, it's just odd for the eye to look at. You can see how you just want this shot to be like this, right? You just want it to be like this so badly, but that's the cropping. So the next thing is, again, the very center focus and leading line. My suggestion is that, which is offset. Take your viewer through the photo just a little bit. It's the same everything. The only thing that you're doing now is you're forcing the eye to go through more of the photo to get to you, to get to the money. To me, this is the crop. Shorter on this side, more of a travel here, and then the article gets written over top right here. I hope that helps. All right, let's look at another from Milen. This is busy, pretty busy. Again, it's snapshot. You're adding, I would say, a lot of like highlight recovery because the water here, which should be like clean white, has like a blue cast because of something that you're doing in post. I'm not sure what it is. I'm guessing that it's highlights. Also, the blue cast has to do with color balance from shade usually, but this is in sun. So I'm just wondering where the blue cast comes from. This is one of those photos that I'd love to see the raw file to see how you went from raw to where you are with your processing. This photo for me is a bit of a snapshot just because of the like people and all the stuff that's happening in the photo and less of a photograph in order to like make this for me feel a bit more photographic and less snapshotty. It's got to kind of come in a little bit more like that, you know, a little bit more deliberate with the crop and isolate the building only as your subject. All right, let's see another. That's Milan. Oh, Milan's got one last photo. Well, this is definitely strong. This is definitely strong. I mean, it's a pretty shot where you chose to juxtapose yourself. So you're shooting through the water and through the sun into the sun. Gives your sky is nice and big. I feel like there's too much contrast because I can see we're losing detail in the shadows and this building is really contrasty. So again, it's a processing thing where I feel like it's almost like too much LUT, too much treatment. The water saturation, everything, it looks really cool. Again, this is one where I would punch in just a touch. I would punch in like a little bit more. It's tricky because the water is so much of the dynamic of the foreground of this photo, but the people on the left and the right are distracting, and I'd like to make the photo more about the fountain. It's tricky, but again, another strong photo. If I had to pick the best, if I had to pick the best, if I had to pick the best, I would pick this. This is your best photo if it was cropped like I showed you, like closer to that. That is your best photo. Well played. Thank you for submitting, Milen. All right, let's look at another. Matthew Sargent went to a pumpkin patch, corn maze, farm, son's birthday, also self-portrait, lightsaber, Disneyland, edited the lightsaber in Photoshop. All right, so we're going to look at the corn photos first. Cornfields. This is cool, textured, definitely like a Children of the Corn kind of feeling. I like the claustrophobic kind of feeling. This kind of photography is great background. It's great stock photography. It's great background to put behind a portrait that's shot in the studio. There's something definitely there with that photo. Let's look at this photo. This corn is a little centered. I would want you to push this a little bit closer to that edge, possibly here, and reveal a little bit more of the frame there, just to fill a little bit more of the frame that way, or come that way, shoot back that way, and shoot it vertical, and focus just on what this part of the corn looks like, but shot from that direction. Like almost like a top down. Let's look at your next corn photo. Family, cute. Again, this is like a personal moment that has like sentimental value for you, which I totally understand. It's a cool moment. Not seeing their faces adds mystery for sure. I feel like this photo is a little stronger. It's really tricky to do these types of photos. I've shot like this in a winery with kids for advertising, and it's hard. It's hard to do this type of photography. I can show you the picture that specifically that I'm talking about. It is here, and the photo is where is this winery photo? Here. So I did do a bunch of like it's similar, and you can see it's so hard with like the mixed light and all of this stuff. It makes it like so difficult. I mean, for me, I had to show the faces, but um this is Italy, by the way. It's tricky when you're shooting kids and you're doing like, but your particular photo from the back, this vibe, the way there's the steps, it's all like, it's just a nice moment, you know? It's cool. All right, let's look at your lightsaber photos. This is dope, Matthew. This is strong. This is strong. I don't know how much smoke you added in post, um, but this is strong. It's strong. You just have to watch your focus, make sure you're really nailing the focus on the face. But as far as the blue, the idea, the way that you have the light as white, I mean the smoke as white, but then other smoke back here that's like clearly behind you, the body language, the crop, like this is 100% an 11 out of 10. This is absolutely great. Absolutely great. This is great. Very, very good. Very good. And your second one is tricky. Listen, I've had this experience with the lightsaber before. When you put it below the chin, um, here's the trick. Because it's a wand, when you hold it below the chin, like below, you're giving yourself that uplight, which isn't quite flattering. The secret is you hold the wand like this, guy, above you, not like this under you. You hold the wand like this over you. Now you're giving yourself that amazing, flattering top light with the wand instead of below. It's a small thing. And I know it, again, it always seems easier when I explain it to you this way. And I always seem to be able to tell you exactly the thing that you're doing wrong with your photo. And sometimes it's overwhelming to hear, like, but again, this is freeform. I just say what I see. If I get confused in chat and I see it, like there's small things that like when you're doing a live, like I'm real. I'm just a real person, and I try to. And you can see I've been doing photo reviews right now for an hour and 38 minutes. I'm still going, and I want everybody to get an adequate review, a good review. I think I offended somebody because of the like talking about like again, and it's happened before where I ask a question about a photographer's shots and someone else answers like shot on film, blah blah blah, like very like this is exactly what happened. When you answer with that kind of authority without prefacing Justin shot on like on film and then the rest of it, when I'm just quickly scanning it in chat, like I just glance up and I look, I see the name and I see what they're saying. Am I putting all this two and two together and what's happening behind, like on the fly while I'm live? While like, no, it takes a second. It takes a second. So what I ask is like, be so literal in chat. Like, tell me exactly. Don't assume that I'm bridging the connections behind the scenes. Don't assume, oh, I know that you're talking and referring to this photo. Like, just, it's chat. I get to see it for a super short time. I glance at it for just a second. So pretend I don't know anything. Pretend I don't know any context. Put it right there in a message. I glance, I get it, and then I don't have to talk about it. So, Matthew, unequivocally, guy, do I got to actually tell you what your best photo was from that? Holy shit. This is your best photo. Absolutely. It deserves the accolades that you're getting. This is a great photo. Really strong, and you should be thrilled. Super stoked. And I love the fact that you pushed so hard with it. You didn't just go halfway, you went the whole way. And now that I've given you that thing with the lightsaber above, maybe try that. Also, try not to cut the lightsaber. Try to have it go like not straight out of the frame, but up into a corner, down into a corner. Don't let it go out into the frame. Small things. But again, that's part of the composition tricks that you got to work on. All right. Last one is my brother, Leslie, with his motorcycle. Les, I like the fact that you gave me like almost like a foreground and a background, and you offset yourself here, like giving me you here, the gutter here. So this is the center of the picture, and then putting your motorcycle on the other side and still giving me room for the article. It's compositionally strong. I mean, the light and the garage door is a little distracting, and catching this little here is a little distracting. It's like small things. Maybe we punch in a little bit like that to eliminate that problem. You're seeing I'm totally cutting out your face here. It's a tricky thing. And also, you shot this with the Canon, I think. Let me just, oops. Oh my goodness me. There we go. There we go. It's dope. It's tricky because of the way that the wall leans in, because you can see the architecture. The wall leans in here and meets here, and then this is straight. So therefore, this is the garage line that you have to get straight in the photo. But if you look here, this horizon is straight. So it's like, it's really difficult with the stuff that you have behind you to kind of orient like how this frame lays out. Les, it's a tricky one, but you shot yourself in shade. You shot the bike in shade. So you have the exposure on the bike and yourself, right? Your photo's a little noisy. I'm not sure if that's ISO, but it looks like your ISO might be a bit high just based on the noise that we're getting in the bottom of the photo. Still, let's look on. Yeah, this is dope. Dope, dope, dope. My brother's motorcycle. Dope. Yeah, I see, because of the way that the wall is, it's like this particular wall is like super strange. Just the way that it leans, like it feels like it leans back. That's okay. I like this. I feel like it could have ended like here. Cut it here. You know what I mean? And again, look at his Carty decal. Look at that. Let's go, Les. This is sick. And again, super sharp, good focus. Good focus. By the way, my brother's a painter. He's not a photographer. He uses photography in order to assist him with his painting. He does so many incredible things. Photography is like, he's been shooting lately more with like my inspiration to get him to shoot more, but he uses photography primarily as an assist for his paintings. So just to give you a bit of context. All right. Little selfie from my brother. Little selfie. I think this one was shot with his telephone. Selfie. We look alike, eh? And the last photo is into a reflection. This is A little hard to visually understand, I guess, for those, but this is a car partially taken apart, and this is the body panel of the car, and what we're looking at is a reflection of a ladder in the paint, because my brother's paint is so good, it is like a mirror. So that is my brother. That is the mirror maker that they call him. And if I had to pick the best photo from these, brother, it would be this one. This is the one that's the most technically strong. This is the one that's the most technically strong, the best exposure. That's the one. Guys, we made it. We made it to the end. It's an hour and 45-minute photo reviews. Wow. It is 5:43 here where I am. Normally I start this podcast at 6, but hey, guess what? I'm in a good mood. And because I'm in a good mood and because you're watching this, I'm going to debut something. I'm going to show you guys a video that I just shot that I am going to the video release party for today. And the reason that I'm not able to show up today at the time that you guys expect normally, which is 6, is because of this video release party. So I'm going to find this video. And before we wrap up today's episode, you guys want to see it? You want to see it? Are you interested in seeing my latest video? If you're interested, I'll show you. It's right here.
Yes,
it's right
or
here.
yes.
It's right here. I can show you right now. So this is the vibe. This is a friend, my girlfriend's best friend. It's her boyfriend. We hang out together, the 4 of us, all the time. And I heard he was trying to put out an album, and I'm like, I can help you. He's like, yeah, how could you help? I'm like, I could shoot a video for you. He's like, really? Yeah, I could shoot a video for you. So I did. And this is the first video. I mean, shot one at the beginning of the summer. I haven't shot a video in a while. Just so you guys know that I am actually a video director. I'm going to turn off my overlays. This is the worldwide debut. This isn't even live yet. Okay? This isn't even live yet. You are going to be the first ones seeing this.
Yes, or yes.
First one seeing this. I hope, oh wow, I could have just did it this way. Sorry, give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second here. We're just gonna turn these back on, and then go over here, and then turn them off there. All right, here we go. You guys ready?
High quality.
You ready?
It's possible we haven't grown, or it's something wrong in what we chose. And behind me is a pile of stones that I don't want to throw anymore. Forgiveness is a task alone. What is that thing we can best do? And
Yeah? Yeah? You feeling it? You feeling it? You feeling it? So yeah, I direct music videos and that sometimes.
Yes or
So
yes?
um yeah, I shot that in like 3 hours, I think. Yeah, hope you guys felt that. Guys, thank you for today, for staying with me for the entire episode. I hope it brought you value. If you notice, this entire episode was commercial free. The reason that this episode was commercial free was because of my members. If you're a member and you're watching this, I thank you. And I'm thanking you also for everybody else who watches this live that's not a member. The members make it so I'm able to do commercial free live chats. I just did a 2 hour live stream. You guys didn't get a single commercial. I showed you nothing but love for the photography that you submitted. I am sorry for the little glitch there. Yeah, don't get weird when I get weird. It's just like it's because this is live. This is a live stream. This is unedited content. I'm monitoring chat. I'm controlling everything. I'm producing basically a television show live. I pay attention to chat, but sometimes chat throws me. It only throws me when you talk about someone else's photo without inserting that one part. Justin's photo, blah, blah, blah. That's the only thing. So, again, just next time, remember, and no problems, no grudges, all love. I appreciate you guys all for watching. If you appreciate this content, please consider subscribing. I do these photo reviews once a week, usually on Thursdays, always at 6 p.m., except for today when I have something at 6 p.m. that makes it so I can't do that. Every once in a while, I do have a photo shoot on a Thursday, on a Tuesday. When that happens, number one, I do pre-recorded content and I put a pre-recorded podcast up for you to watch, or I do that podcast the day before or the day after. So I'm always able to make it up. So you always have 3 episodes a week. I am brainstorming hard my next video. Oh shit, someone just time warped me. I'm brainstorming my next video. I'm trying to make it dope. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content today. Hopefully it brought you some value. Yes. And hopefully you guys saw something that you liked. You submitted a photo. I helped you. I'm going to be looking at some members' photos in the next couple of days. Tomorrow, I'm going to look at some subscribers' photos in the subscriber bin. These my viewers keep glitching me. By the way, yes, if you watch me live and you're a member, you can do all the stuff that my chat is doing to me right now, including screenshot me in any point that I'm talking and making me look ridiculous. Just like this. There's all these commands that you can do when you watch me live, which is why this whole live experience is so fun. Guys, I love you. Thank you so much for staying with me to the end. Check the merch store. There's all kinds of helpful information in my show notes. I hope this brought you value. One love.